Hey, what's going on, everybody? Alex with you here again, as usual. Thank you for tuning in. More and more recently, I've been getting contacted by some of these chess distributing companies to see if I could do any kind of reviews or any kind of shout outs to their company to kind of bring attention of the viewers, of the public, to the company, which is really smart. And in fact, just within the past couple of weeks, I've been contacted by a company called Violet Crown Chess, which is a kind of a startup company. I think they originated back in 2021, located in Texas, Austin, Texas. The company is primarily, I think, built right now online. I don't necessarily think they have like an actual store that you can go in, but then again, if you think about even the bigger chess distributing companies like House of Staunton, last time I Googled, I don't even think they have an actual store that you can go in and buy chess sets. It's all pretty much online. So Violet Crown Chess, they contacted me and they basically asked me if I could maybe take a look and see if I could review any of their chess sets. They were really nice to me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and buy one of your kind of less expensive chess sets and sort of do a review and give them a shout out. And what I did is I ended up purchasing this tournament plastic chess set combination with a silicone board, and I believe they're triple weighted plastic chess pieces, so really quite nice arrangement, a really nice combination that we're gonna go ahead and take a look at shortly. And to my surprise, after I ordered one, I ended up getting a second one in the same box. So I thought that maybe at first when I looked at it, I opened the box, I thought maybe the light pieces are in one bag, the dark pieces are in the other bag. But no, actually it's two of the same thing. And I thought, well, why would they send me two? Because they're different color. They're different color chess pieces and they're different color boards, which I'm really thankful because I only ordered one, but the company sent me two. I don't know if they sent it to me by mistake, but I'm really appreciative of the fact they did that. And I think, once again, this is a really smart approach from a company to go ahead and send me, duplicates so that way I can review and show my viewers like what do the different boards look like in case they do decide to buy this particular one. They'll be able to see from this video if they're selecting, for example, the dark square board or maybe the green square board. They're going to be able to see both in this video, which is really smart. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what's inside of these bags. I believe, so inside the bag we have, I still haven't uncovered everything, but I just wanted to show you guys how it's shipped and to you. You have the silicone board. Here's the color. Really nice silicone board overall. I believe the size is 2.25. And then you also have the dark squares versus the green squares. Let me go ahead and take these out. Okay, now so you get to select between the dark squared silicone board versus the green squared silicone board. And as you could see, there is a normal size board with notation on the side. I'm not sure if it's showing clearly, but that's kind of what you're getting. Now, if you know me, I've talked before in some of my videos about my opinion as far as silicone boards. These are nice boards. They're made well. Some people don't necessarily prefer silicone boards. There are some advantages and some disadvantages to having them. Mainly the biggest advantage is that you can pretty much bunch up a silicone board in any way you want, and you're not afraid of like when you open it up, you're not afraid of having creases or anything like that. If you have a vinyl board, then if you bunch it up like that and leave it for a while, you're gonna have all kinds of creases, and then it's gonna wear out, wear down a lot quicker. Also, I did notice some people were telling me in the comments that silicone boards, silicone pieces, you can have them in like a warm environment. In fact, I'm not sure if somebody told me you can put them in an oven at low heat if you wanted to disinfect them or something like that, but I probably wouldn't try that. But I think it does withstand pretty warm temperatures, so if you leave this type of board somewhere in your car on a hot day during the summer, you'd probably be okay with it, not really being damaged. so far as I know. Definitely, like I said, the biggest advantage. Some of the disadvantages to having silicone boards that I've heard people say, and I might agree with them too, is you don't get a lot of like slide on these boards. So most of the time when you're playing, you're just picking up the piece and moving it to another square. With like the vinyl boards, you might have a little bit of a slide. You get the best type of slide with an expensive wooden board, but you get the least amount of slide probably, in my opinion, with the silicone board. But like I said, it's these boards are relatively nice overall. If you go to a tournament, nobody's gonna ask you why you brought a silicone board, because these are very ubiquitous, especially nowadays. So I think overall, as far as boards go, these are pretty nice boards. So if you decide to check out this particular selection, like I said, you get to choose between either the black color, which is a little bit more contrasty, to the green. My personal opinion, I like the green a little bit better, but that's because I'm kind of used to the green. The black is nice too. The rest of what's inside the bag here are gonna be the light and the dark pieces. So the pieces come in these little pouches. You have the dark and the light. As far as the selection of colors you get with this particular chess set, you get the ivory white, as you could see here in this baggie. This is just plain white, or you can opt for like the tan color. I'm always a big fan of slightly more tan like this, just because in my opinion it sort of looks a little bit more comfortable to look at. I feel like the really white is just a little too much, but like I said, everybody has different preferences. And then you get the dark. The dark are both the same, as you can see here. They did say that the felt, or from where I was reading, I felt like the felt was going to be really thin, but the felt is actually kind of nice. It's not like super duper thin paper felt. It's actually felt material. So for plastic chess set, I think that they did a pretty good job as far as, I mean, they could have gone a little bit thicker felt, but this is, I feel, for the weight of the pieces, this will be plenty felt. Let's take a look at the individual pieces, and then we'll take a look at how it looks on the board. Alrighty, I hope I'm in focus, and I do apologize, there's cars going back and forth over here because it's morning time, and I guess everybody has to go somewhere on a Sunday morning. Anyways, let's take a closer look. And another thing I want to tell you guys is that I did end up getting a new camera, so I'm still testing it out, and so I do apologize if things sometimes are out of focus or don't seem right. It's just because I'm still learning how to use it. It's the Panasonic S5. Alrighty, my friends, so let's take a look. You have the king, so let's take a look at the individual ones and just kind of see. The finial here on the top is big. It's very sturdy. So some people like the simplicity of the finial being this way. Other people like to prefer a little bit more detailed. But one of the things about a finial this big is that it's less likely to break off, because I've seen some, even the plastic chess sets with finials that are a little bit smaller and a little bit more intricate. If you drop one of these, the finial is going to break off, no problem. So once again, if we kind of take the piece to the other side, we can see that the type of felt that they're using. So it's a sort of a medium quality felt, but it's well placed on here. These pieces are weighted. I believe though online it says that the weight of the king is like something like 56 grams, so it's sort of a medium weight. The pieces are tournament sized. They're not super small, and I feel like they feel pretty well in the hand. You could see that the circle right over here has been made kind of a little bit bigger than some of the other kings we've seen. It's sort of this prominent. There's a total of 3 rings, and one of them is very prominent. I guess it's just an aesthetic decision. We also see that this is what the light one looks like for anybody who's interested specifically in the light. So shape-wise, it's the same felt, same finial, same everything. It's just that if you are looking for this ivory white as maybe your selection, that's what you're gonna end up getting. The dark looks kind of like a matte finish. It's not glossy. In fact, none of these pieces are super glossy. I've already before expressed my opinion as far as the glossiness. I mean, sometimes in some chess sets it looks well, and then in another chess sets, I'm not a big fan of it because it could be a little bit distracting. But the glossy factor isn't such a big deal unless you're getting into like the resin chess sets. Then there some of them can get pretty glossy. Um, Pay attention to this seam here. It's very sort of inconspicuous. It's almost not there, which is really nice because I get some of these other plastic chess sets for the same price, and some of them they don't take the time to actually like shave down the seam, and it just looks a little bit like it's here we could see that the seam is still there, as it's always going to be there, but they've taken the time to sort of really polish this down to where it's at least a little bit more presentable. I don't know why I get so hung up on the seams, but I feel like the seam is sort of a sign of the amount of quality work, the amount of time that they put into making a chess set. And here I think overall it's made pretty well. Here we can see the three queens, different color. We can just kind of take a quick look, and then I'll just show you guys one queen for the overall shape and everything. Queens have a sort of this cup-like design, where on top we're seeing you have the little spikes over here. They're not super sharp, so I think that they're sort of medium sharpness. They're not like totally round off, but I mean, because if you round them off completely, because they're not so big to begin with, they're gonna feel a little too smooth. But in this case, it's kind of an in between. You still have the shape of the spikes, but they're not so sharp that you're gonna like injure yourself or have to worry about the spikes breaking off. Sometimes like this portion of the queens a lot of times changes quite a bit, so we can see here this is the shape that they've chosen, and then you have the same three rings and this big ring over here. So I guess it's just the decision of this chess set. At least they're sticking to having them the same way. Then right over here you have a kind of a thinner neck. Here's the king's neck, but I mean appropriately, because the queen's going to be a little, see, this is the height difference, so the king's going to be a little bit bigger, and then it sort of diverges out. You have this sort of little step here, and then you have the base. And of course they're using the same felt in all of the pieces. A nice overall queen. It's a nice playable chess set. I think the sun is coming out, so it's a little bit tricky when you film outside, because you don't have any control of when the sun's going to come out and all that. But here's the three bishops. Interestingly, you could see that the shape of the top portion kind of has this convergence towards the top. It's a sort of a design element. Let's take a look. Because the sun is coming out, I'm just gonna go ahead and focus on the dark piece. You see the little cut right here at the top. It's kind of the cut here, it sort of goes in pretty narrow, but then diverges towards the center. See, you have the thickest point of the top being sort of at the starting portion, like in the first 2/3. Sometimes we see the thickest portion to be right in the middle, and that creates sort of a more symmetrical top. But once again, we've seen all kinds of different bishops on this channel and on other channels, so it's just sort of a design element here. Some people might like this more than the totally symmetrical top, but it is what it is. We have the three rings and the slightly bigger ring at the bottom. The bishop is going to be considerably smaller than the queen, so that's nice, because here's the bishop, here's the queen. We've seen, like in the best chess set ever, for example, the height of the bishop was very similar to the height of the queen. So in this case, there's going to be some degree of distinction, and that might be appealing to some people. And then you have a kind of a straight, it doesn't diverge too much, but you have this middle portion right here, and then it's kind of breaks into the base. As we can see, the base is rounded, and it's relatively wide enough for this particular piece. Okay, so here are the three knights, as you could see. Like I said, I'd love to show you guys the light pieces, but in this light you might not be able to see all the details. At least this is how they look. And let's take a look at the individual knight characteristics. A very simplistic design of the knight overall. The piece of the head here kind of sits very much so parallel to the floor. We don't have a lot of details on this. We have the sort of mane that kind of starts off here and then it sort of disappears on the side, and then it takes off and continues down the back of the knight. It's kind of thin if you look at it from the front, so, or from the back. I'll show you guys, like it's sort of a thinner, but at the same time we've seen these type of designs sometimes if you have it too bulky, then it might be a little bit trickier to grab, whereas the thinness of this and sort of the kind of the very top, see how it's sort of like normal and parallel. I guess it's easier to sort of grab it when you're playing chess, so that way you can just grab it all the way up to, I'd probably say like right here, so you have a nice grab. I mean, even like all the way down to here, you have a nice decent grab, so these pieces can be played in a very fast game just because they don't have all the extra details that might prevent you from being able to grab the piece in a way that, you know, allow you to play like a blitz or a bullet game. Some people might argue and say, yeah, this is a very simplistic knight, but it's not like it takes them that much more effort when it comes to plastic chess sets to just stamp out a more intricate knight. So from that standpoint, it's not that they're trying to basically have a cheaper chess set. It's just that this is sort of an element of what they chose for this particular chess set. So it's got a kind of a broad base, and the knight's sitting right here. What do you guys think about the knight? Let me know. I still like it. I think it's kind of nice. Every knight's different. A long time ago, I mean, I've reviewed so many chess sets that I've sort of stopped comparing and saying, well, this is a bad one, this is a good one. They're all just different. So you got the open mouth slightly. Don't see any teeth, but you can see that it's slight open mouth, and then you have a couple of little indentations here, a bulging, kind of a slightly bulging eye on both sides, and overall kind of a nice neat compact knight. Here we compare the two different rooks. The bottom portion right here has the nice felt. Design wise, you have a total of the 4 cuts here on the top, 4 cuts on the ivory white one too. Then here the depression isn't very deep, okay, and that will allow these sides here to be less likely to break off if one of your rooks falls off, because I've heard that the taller these little sort of elevations are over here, the more likely that if one of these rooks drops, you could have like a piece just break off. But in this particular case, I don't necessarily think that you'd need to worry about that. Lastly, we have the pawns. The pawns are all symmetrical, so that's good to see. Pawn design's relatively normal. You have a kind of a very proportionate sized ball here on top with 1 ring. So as we've seen before with all the other chess pieces, you have 3 rings, but in this particular case it's 1. But then I don't think you could put 3 rings on this without making it look like it's just too much, just because the chess piece isn't super big. Kind of a relatively slender, not too slender, but you know, slender body, and then the base kind of is a little bit bigger, sort of what we would want from a piece that's going to be stable and good to play. Okay, so this is what this particular chess set will look like on the board. This particular selection is going to be your black and white squares, and the pieces are sort of the ivory. You could see the ivory and the black. One of the things I wanted to mention here is now that I'm looking at both of the black pieces, see, like right here, this rook, this dark rook here, has the short top right over here, which is the same as the short top to the light one. So I think it would be interesting to sort of see. Maybe this is different because the other rooks that we've seen that they have are the slightly bigger ones. See right over here? So that's a different sort of variation. I'm not sure why, but basically we would need to find out, like, if you're gonna order, whether or not you're going to order and receive the rooks that have this sort of a shallow top, or are you gonna get the bigger ones. I don't think you're gonna get like mix and match, but this is just something that you guys need to sort of pay attention to. Maybe ask before receiving the chess set. You could always say, hey, you know, I saw this video on Also Chess and I was just wondering, am I gonna get the shallow top rook or the slightly bigger, taller rook? And that would be good to know. Other than that, it's a very nice practical chess set overall. Like I said, although some people might think, hey, the knights look a little too simplistic, I think overall the knights are a good shape for fast play, just because you have the convergence of the head designed in such a way that it's easier to grab. So let me know what your opinion is. The light pieces also look quite nice over here on this side. No defects, nothing really to complain about. Let's just take a look and see how the other set looks on the other board. Alrighty, so here's the combination of the tan, as you can see here, the tan and the green board, and the 10 pieces are right over there. In my opinion, this is a little bit of a better combination, just for me, just because it's not as striking. I like the green a little bit better, but I've put it on top of the other board right over here, so you can see that the boards are exactly the same size. Overall, it looks really nice. I think the pieces are not too big, they are not too small, and they sit well for this board. This could be used for both classical games and also rapid and bullet games, just because, like I mentioned before, the knights got good shape to it, and the pieces, they're nice and balanced. I don't think they're going to tip over or anything. They're not super duper heavy, but they are weighted, so that's a nice little factor here. By the way, I did forget to mention that you do get the extra queens on this, so you get a total of 4 queens per set, as you can see right over here. So that's not an issue. In case people were wondering if you do get extra queens, you do get extra queens with this test set. Well, what do you guys think so far? I think it's overall, it's nice chess set. I don't think it retails very expensive. I think overall the pieces are nice and practical for a lot of people out there that are looking for chess sets, maybe to take to tournaments with them. This is gonna be another option. So be sure to take the time, and I'll leave you guys a link to this particular chess set and where you can find it. Take a look at it, and also I'll leave you the link to the website as well. And that way you can take a look and see if you see any other chess sets that you might be interested in. I think their customer service is superb. I'm sure they're going to be able to answer any of your questions. Anyways, so once again, thank you guys for stopping by, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to let me know what you guys think about this chess set, and also stay safe as usual. Stay safe and play more chess, okay? I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye-bye.